What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I'm DS, and I'm here today to give you your full fight card, not breakdown. Dino already did that, so check out that video, of course, at the 10-7 MMA. But today, I will be talking about your best bets for UFC Fight Night Vegas 100. So it's the 100th iteration of the Apex Fight Night cards. Say what you will, it saved us during the pandemic. But I'll be going through every fight and just giving you kind of my take on what I think of it from a betting perspective, and if I'll be betting it, and if so, what I will be betting. Before I get into all that, just real quick, do as it says below. Please like and subscribe. Ring the little bell so you know when we post. Check us out on Instagram spelled the same way at the 10-7 MMA. So I'm going to keep this brief. I'm going to fly through it. I'm going to go through what I think are the best bets on this card, and I'll go through every fight individually. Make it quick, and then at the end, I'll let you know, just in case if you want to be a degenerate, what the best bets would equal out to in a parlay. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. First fight of the night, we have Melissa Mullins. She's taking on Claudia Sigula. Claudia Sigula is making her debut. This is a short notice fight for her. Watching tape on her, nothing really stood out. I just don't think she's that good. I don't think she's UFC level at this point. She is only 25 years old. She's got plenty of time to improve. But for the sake of this, I'm trying to keep it safe. I'm giving you your absolute best bets. For me, Melissa Mullins is just going to be the much better wrestler here. I expect her to be physically stronger. No disrespect to Claudia. I do think that she's just kind of, she's not a bad-looking lady, right? She's 6-1. She's got an okay record. I'm going to trust the Brit here. I'm going to trust the Brit, even though it's a fairly low-level women's fight. I do like Mullins enough here. I just don't really trust Claudia Sigula. 2 fights ago, she fought somebody who was only on their second fight as a professional MMA fighter. So give me Mullins on the money line here. I am taking it. Moving on. Next fight. We've got Tresean Gore, friend of the channel, absolute friend of the channel. If you have not seen Dino Bam Bam's interview with Tresean Gore, which unfortunately I had to miss, if you haven't, go check that out on our page. It just went up this week. So good shit to Dino Bam Bam and Tresean Gore in that one. We do wish him luck. He is taking on Antonio Tricoli. Antonio Tricoli used to be absolutely roided out. Last time we saw him, he put up kind of a decent fight versus Shara Bullet. Tresean Gore been out for a while, man. Had a couple fights canceled. So, this is kind of a tough one, man. I do expect Tresean to get the win. I think he's very live for a knockout here. He's a -180 favorite. So, I mean, I'm picking him, but to me, with a 2-year hiatus, as far as a safe bet, I just don't really see one in here. If you were going to sprinkle anything, I would sprinkle Tresean Gore by knockout, but it's just a little too risky for me right now, so I'm going to skip it. Moving on. Next fight, we've got Cody Stamann. He's taking on Damon Blackshear. This is an interesting one, man. This is a damn good fight on this card. Damon Blackshear, I was really, really, really high on him. He looked unbelievable. He had that twister win versus Jose Johnson. And then he lost to Mario Bautista, which obviously, say what you will. I know Mario Bautista is not exactly a fan favorite right now, but very good fighter. So that win is aged pretty well. Or I'm sorry, that loss is aged pretty well. And then he got slept by Montel Jackson last time, which obviously wasn't great. But I'm still high enough on Damon Blackshear, and I do believe that Cody Stamann is on the downside of his career at this point. I don't think he's really going to offer much. Damon Blackshear he's very dangerous in the jiu-jitsu game. Stamann is probably the better wrestler here, but I just trust Damon Blackshear, and the odds are not too bad. -265 for Blackshear. So I am going to take him. I'm going to take Damon Blackshear on the money line. Next fight. We've got Charles Chuck Buffalo Ratke. He is taking on Matthew Semmelsberger. This is an absolute banger of a fight. Absolute banger of a fight. I'm a big Semi the Jedi fan. I'm also a big Chuck Buffalo fan. 2 great nicknames too. This is just too risky to bet, man. I think either one of these guys is live for a knockout. Semmelsberger probably better on the ground, right? But he doesn't use it all that much. Also, Charles Ratke definitely has the momentum here. If you want to sprinkle anything, I'd probably sprinkle Chuck Buffalo by knockout. But man, this is one I actually don't want to be too tense for it. I just kind of want to enjoy this banger of a fight. I don't see this one going the distance. But for the sake of this video, I'm not betting anything. Next fight, We've got Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos. He's taking on Zach Scrogan, which is a wild name to me. Minus 850. The odds kind of tell you everything that you need to hear there. Zach Scrogan, this was supposed to be a rematch of dos Santos versus Nicholas Dalby, which I probably would have taken Dalby in that one. Both guys tough as hell. They fought early in their career to a split decision. But now it's Zach Scrogan. So for me, I am gonna take Dos Santos here. Well, actually, I'm sorry. The odds are too crazy. I was gonna take Dos Santos. I was gonna take him maybe by knockout, but I do think he's live for a submission too. So, instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the under 2.5 rounds. I think this is free cheese. This is absolutely free cheese. I'm shocked that the over under is set at 2.5 rounds. I think they could have probably gotten away with 1.5 rounds. At least that's where I thought it would be. But at minus 175, I think this should be very, very doable. So that's what I like here. I'm taking it. Next fight, we've got Cratavius Ramius. He is taking on Gaston Bolanos. Listen, Gaston Bolanos is just not UFC level in my opinion. Cratavius Ramius is coming off a decent win on the Contender Series. I think this is free cheese here too, quite frankly. I feel very confident in this one. I think it'll probably happen by sub. And yeah, Gaston Bolanos, man, I just don't see it. 7-4, lost. Marcus McGee's very good, but he got knocked out by Marcus McGee. His wins are, his one win in the UFC is to Aaron Phillips. So, I just don't think he's really UFC level at this point. I think the odds are actually pretty good on this. I'm taking Ramius. I'm just going to take him on the money line. If you want to get even cuter, you could take him by sub. I think that's the most likely outcome, but I'm going to go with the money line. Moving on. Next fight, we've got Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She's taking on Denise Gomes. We got a lot of decent women's fights on this. This is a decent little fight on paper. I kind of like plus 390 for Karolina here, to be honest with you. I think she's pretty dangerous. I think the odds makers are not giving her enough credit, but I'm not going to be betting this, man. The odds are just too crazy. I wouldn't put it in a parlay. Denise Gomes probably will win, but if you want to sprinkle a little bit on Karolina, I wouldn't blame you, just for fun, for shits and giggles. But yeah, for the sake of this video, I'm not taking this. Next fight, we've got, excuse the fuck out of me, we've got Mansour Abdul Malik. He is taking on Duško Todorovic. Look, man, Duško is coming off a bad knee injury, and quite frankly, no disrespect, has never looked that great in the UFC. I don't trust him here at all. The odds kind of speak for themselves. Even with the minus 485 on a guy who we haven't seen too much of, but is undefeated, I just think 6-inch reach advantage. The guy looks like an absolute tank. I'm taking the money line here. I'll take it. Mansour Abdul Malik at minus 485 as a parlay piece more than anything, really. I don't know that I would bet this straight personally, but I do like it. All right, next fight. We've got Luana Pinheiro. She is taking on Jillian Robertson, probably the highest level of the women's fights on this card. Both these girls are pretty good. I'm not a big Luana Pinheiro fan after she put up that performance basically pretending to be hurt. I forgot who she was fighting at the time, but yeah, I don't like shit like that. Jillian Robertson is going to have the better wrestling here. I do think she's going to win this fight. But Luana Pinheiro has good judo. She's dangerous on the ground too. I just think Jillian Robertson is going to be the one to decide when it goes to the ground and will have better control in this fight. Her striking is also much improved. I thought about taking Jillian Robertson on the money line here, but minus 395 is kind of crazy, so I will be skipping it. Next fight. Man, we've got Ricky Tercios. He is taking on Bernardo Sopai. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so look, Ricky Tercios has not looked great lately. We have definitely not been seeing the best version of him. There was a time when he was kind of, when he was on The Ultimate Fighter, I thought he looked really good. I was a big fan. I thought he was going to go far. Last fight, he lost to Raul Rosas, got choked out. Now he's taking on another dangerous submission guy in Bernardo Sopai. I was back and forth on this. The odds are kind of crazy at minus 340, but I don't know. To me, more than anything, it's like I don't think Ricky Tercios really wants it bad anymore. So for me, for that reason, I am going to take Bernardo Sopai here. Minus 340. Again, probably not one that I would bet necessarily straight, but as a parlay piece, I do like it. I know Dino Bam Bam is not as confident in it, so do with that info what you will. Next fight. We've got Gerald Mearshart. He is taking on Rainer de Ritter. I just think Rainer's better, man. I just think he's better. I think he's got underrated grappling. He's got great striking. GM3 is a slow starter, man. He's a slow starter, and I think that's going to hurt him in this one. I am a little worried because I could see GM3. He's always dangerous with the submissions, right? So I could see him lock up like a guillotine at some point and just end the fight that way. But really, double champ from a respectable organization. Rainier de Ritter really should win this one. So I am going to take him on the money line. And moving on, and we've got our main event, Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. Look, a couple years ago, first of all, the odds are fucking crazy at minus 800, but I kind of do understand them at this point. A few years ago, Neil Magny was kind of the perfect gatekeeper for the division, right? Kind of set apart the pretenders, the contenders. I don't think that's what Neil Magny is anymore. I think we're at a point now where Neil Magny is towards the bottom of this division. I think this is, compared to Prates' last fight, I think there's a step down in competition. The odds have swelled to a pretty crazy level, but I'm still comfortable taking Carlos Prates here, but I'm not going to take the money line at minus 800. Neil Magny has not looked, he's looked a little bit chinny lately. He hasn't looked great. I'm taking Prates by knockout, minus 400. Again, the odds, I wish they were a little bit better here, but I just don't see it ending any other way, man. Prates has legit power. He's explosive. Yeah, he's looked really, really good, and Neil Magny has looked really, really bad lately. So I'm taking Prates by knockout. That's the whole card for you guys. So I'm going to just go through real quick all the bets that I mentioned that I'm taking. So first and foremost, I'm taking Melissa Mullins on the money line. She's a minus 250 favorite. Yes, it's a little bit risky. It's a women's fight. Do with that info what you will. I'm taking Damon Blackshear, minus 265 on the money line. I'm taking the under 2.5 rounds in Dos Santos versus Zach Scrogan at minus 175. That's free cheese. I'm taking Cortavius Ramius, making his UFC debut against Gaston Bolanos, who's not really UFC level, on the money line. Ramius, minus 218. I'm taking Mansour Abdul Malik on the money line versus Todorovic, minus 485. I am taking Bernardo Sopai on the money line, minus 340 versus Ricky Tercios. I'm taking De Ritter versus GM3 on the money line, minus 310. And finally, I'm going to take Carlos Prates to win by KO or TKO, minus 400. Now, that's 8 free bets for you there. Okay, don't come crying to me if they don't hit. They're free. If you want to be a degenerate and parlay those all together, all 8 bets, you'll get plus 1040 odds, 10x your money right quick. Yes, some are riskier than others, but again, they're free. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Give us a follow on Instagram. We've got pictures of us, mostly Dino, with cool fighters and things like that. We even have some pictures with John Jones, who's fighting next week, which is exciting. At the 107 MMA, just like it's spelled here. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.